Luckin Coffee investors, as you could see, seem to have lucked out. The Chinese firm only listed in May last year, if you remember. Now they're being delisted. Claire Sebastian is here to explain. Claire, I remember distinctly this listing. I remember speaking to the CFO and wondering what on earth investors were grasping and buying here because of the lack of information. Turns out no one was sure, quite frankly. Talk us through the details.
Yeah, I think lack of information, and it turns out some of the information we had didn't turn out to be true. All of this, the threat to delist from the NASDAQ, which came out yesterday, the suspension of the shares for more than a month, which ended today, that is related to an accounting scandal that was revealed, Julia, in early April. It turned out that the company had fabricated sales to the tune of about $310 million over the second and third quarters of last year, literally just after they had gone public in the US. That, of course, has led to a serious loss of trust on Wall Street for a company that, by the way, was really very well loved by investors. It surged on its IPO. It peaked. It IPO'd at $17. It peaked at about $50 in January. When it was suspended, it was worth $4.39 a share. And as you can see today, investors are not sticking around to find out. It is, for the moment, still listed on the NASDAQ. The company says it's going to appeal. It's going to request a hearing. That will happen 30 to 45 days from the time it requests it. So until that point, it will remain listed. But the future, Julia, looking very uncertain for this company that was supposed to take on Starbucks in China.
Yeah, and Starbucks were pretty skeptical about their growth strategy and how they seem to be buying market share. But there's a bigger question for me here, Claire, and that is these Chinese companies in particular, corporate standards don't follow accounting rules of the United States or wherever they're listing in this case. And President Trump, to be fair, has argued that perhaps we need to take a closer look at this. I'm in favor of that, I think.
Yeah, I think there's a bit of momentum behind this at the moment, Julia. The SEC, we know, has been looking at the difficulties involved in auditing foreign listed companies in the U.S. They've been talking to the big audit firms in the U.S. about how to deal with this. The president, as you say, has spoken out about it, and I think there was a report as well from Reuters this week that the NASDAQ is looking at tightening rules around foreign, especially Chinese IPOs. So certainly the authorities are looking at this, and I think this particular case, such a high-profile scandal that the CEO and the COO have now also been fired, will sort of be a cautionary tale going forward.